What's up, then, people? Welcome to the United Stand. This is United Talk. My name is Aaron, and of course, I'm joined by my two brothers.
That guy, brother. What's going on? Sun's shining, but it's cloudy. Mentally, we're all cloudy, bro.
Exactly, bro. Saeed, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Blessed, man. I like the metaphor there, man, Nuruddin. But yeah, man, it's all good, man. Life's all great. Life's blessed, but obviously disappointed still. But we go again.
Exactly, man. Let's start with the Barcelona game, man. 3-0, 4-0 on aggregate. What do you make of it, man? What did you think when you saw that first goal go in? Did you think it's over? Did you think, we could still do something there? There's still something to do?
It's the hope that kills you, man. The first 10 minutes for me, man. We buried that Rashford chance. McTominay goes through. It's a different game, but class prevailed at the end of the day. Let's be real out here. Yeah. Men against boys out there. Absolutely, men against boys. I thought, the pedigree Man United. The shirt will lift up for the boys out there. But when you've got Messi, you've got no chance, man. I'm telling you now, that moment of class, man. You got Jones, man. The thing on his head, it loosened, like Gary Neville said, man. The thing loosened. The man twisted him back to Blackburn, bro. Let's be real out here, man. Absolutely, men against boys out there. The class they had. There was just, Ollie can only say so much and go to the players. Listen, guys, I want you to go out there, play for your badge, like Fergie used to say. Yeah. Fergie used to have average players, but what did he do? He used to turn them into men. He used to turn them into warriors. He used to turn them into people that would trust him to the core, man. We had players out there just simply not good enough. And I'm going to be brutal out here. We need a clear out. We need an absolute clear out to the fullest, man. Because people out there that should have been playing there. You got people moaning at Rashford, but they're living a dream, man. He's a local lad from Wythenshawe, man. You go down to Wythenshawe, it's a slum, man. It's one of the biggest slums in Europe, man. So you got to say to him, he's come out here, come from Fletcher Moss, and he's come out there and he's living a dream. You can't blame him. But the recruitment level is poor, man. We're going out there, Barcelona, playing Lindelof, our best centre-half at right-back. Come on, man.
Did we really have a choice, though?
Yeah, we didn't have a choice, I know, but I'm just saying systematically how we got ourselves in this position. We should have already had a right-back. But for me, in terms of that game, yeah, you got to always look at it in hindsight. Barcelona are always going to beat us. But it's the manner we've gone out, man. The first leg, no shots on target. Yeah. You know what I mean? I've just now recollected in my head how we've not had first leg. I was too positive in that day when I met you guys, man. I'll say to myself, yes, it's not. But Man United Football Club, not having a shot on target, it's a disgrace, man. Yeah. Let's be real out here. But end of the day, to perfectly sum it up, it was against men against boys. And if Barcelona go on to win this, it looks justifiable. But for me, man, it just shows how many years we need to get to reach to the Barcelona's level, man.
What about you, Norden, man? I mean, this game completely showed how far behind we are, or how far off we are from the European top. What did you make of that game? Did you watch it live, or?
I got a confession to make. I knew what was coming after the first leg at Old Trafford. I looked at Barcelona's record in the Champions League. Out of 50 games, I think they've won 40-something.
Yeah, I've talked about that record as well, yeah. 51 games, 42 won, 8 drawn, 1 lost.
So my confession is, instead of me being miserable not watching just a demoralising performance and getting absolutely smashed and just me personally suffering, I took myself to the Mos Def concert that was rescheduled. So bro, while the rest of you were suffering, I was having a ball of a time with Mos Def. Yassin Bey, that's what it's all about, bro. That's what I did. But when I got home, obviously I found the highlights and I watched the full highlights. The first 10 minutes, football is about goals, innit? Regardless what anybody says, football comes down to that white line, innit? Those two posts, that bar and that white line. And if you can't stick the ball in the net, then you ain't got no chance, especially away in the European game, let alone Champions League quarter-final. So me, that first 10 minutes, we don't, heads drop, they score. Even when Barcelona scored, I was thinking in my head, because even if they would have scored, it still means we have to score 2 anyway. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So them scoring does not really change the game, the plan of Man United plan. You know what I mean? But what we've got is, we've got part of our team. Let's be honest about it, because we call out other teams for being bottlers. We've got a lot of bottlers in our team.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, that don't mean that they're condemned to be bottlers forever. I'm just saying that just in certain games, when goals go in, whether it was the other guy or under Solskjaer, certain games, as soon as the goals go in against us, the heads drop. Yeah. They feel deflated, they feel lethargic, they're like they've got no energy. So that's what I seen. And I wasn't surprised. I was shocked at the David De Gea mistake because that's so unlike him.
Yeah.
I know that he did it, for Spain against Portugal. So every keeper is capable of it. But it was the timing of that goal. And I think if we kept it to 1-0 till half time, maybe we could have had a chance. But that's if, maybe, and so's, you know what I mean? So that thing, the idea that when we got knocked out 2011, who was playing? The back five, 4 of them were in that team.
Yeah. I was going to say Lingard. Young, Smalling, Jones,
De Gea.
It's Basel.
De Gea, Basel.
Basel, you're about. Not
I think Valencia was playing as well.
FC Basel. When we got knocked out. So the idea that we think Phil Jones, the idea that we think at the top level that Smalling is good enough, the idea we think Ashley Young is good enough, it's ludicrous and laughable. And that's what's the most embarrassing. A club of our size, we spent 650 million in the last, 5-6 years? What players have we got? And they're still there. After 8 years, they're still there. So what does that show? That shows that we are a brand, we're not a football club. And talk about Jones. I'm telling you, I don't think Jones got back on the plane. He's still doing shopping. He's still doing shopping for Messi. After that twist and turn and that nutmeg, he's still out there shopping, buying milk.
That was horrible to watch.
And Waterbuns bread, mate, for Messi. And maybe getting him some packet of cigarettes as well. He's still at the shops in Barcelona. So anybody out there, any United fans out there, please help him. Phil Jones is lost in one of the shops in Barcelona. Help him.
I mean, I can only agree with both of you guys, man. Before the game, I tweeted out a day before. I tweeted out that this might be the end. And even in the title of my video, my preview, I said that this might be the end. And the amount of stick I got on Twitter was unreal. People were calling me pessimistic, calling me negative. I've got a loser's mentality. I've got to stick behind the team, be behind the team, motivate them and stuff like that. But I said, look, I'm just being realistic. And then they said, oh, you can shove your realistic thoughts in your. You know what I'm saying? So,
bro, I'm not gonna lie to you.
I said that because I understand levels.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? We understand levels. We know. Like Barcelona came to Old Trafford 1-0 and they didn't play well. So what makes you think that if they play well, they're not going to win at their stadium?
The hope that kills you, man. You know what I mean? People don't want to admit that. It's the hope that kills you, man. But like you said, man, there's one thing being realistic and there's one being too positive, man. And you got to be realistic, man. You know what I mean? I clung on. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was one of the ones that clung on to the hope that we might do something. Yeah. But at the end of the day, if you're being realistic, then why not, man? You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
Seriously, do you think in a quarter-final of the Champions League when Man United have got a chance that I'm ever going to go and see Mo Steph? Do you think I would do that? I'm not. The only thing that the judgment is that you can't turn on and off a form. You can't turn on a form and turn it off.
Yeah.
You cannot. I watched the way we played against Watford and West Ham. I knew this team didn't have it in them to go to Barcelona, Namku, to go and win 3-1 or 2-0 or whatever to go through. I knew they didn't have it in them. We seen what we seen against West Ham, bro. We've seen what we've seen against Watford. 2 games where we had no right to win, right? So you can't turn it at the top level. You can't turn it on and off. You cannot do that. So that's why I was thinking, you know what, for my mental health, I'm going to go home, get some music, get a bit of happiness, enjoy Yassine Bey, you know what I mean, a.k.a. Mostef. And I had a ball and then I went to watch the highlights and I wasn't that shocked. I wasn't shocked. And especially before I went to the gig, I seen the lineup. And as soon as I seen Stan and Ollie.
Is that the new name? Yes. Is that the new name?
Stan and Ollie. People were laughing, bro. People were like people in the queue looking at me and they were laughing. And I was just like, oh, I'm just looking at United lineup. And it weren't just me. There was a lot of United fans who went to that gig and they were just like, oh, Stan and Ollie are playing. Why are we wasting our time watching when Stan and Ollie are playing, bro?
I mean, it's crazy to think 2019 Champions League quarterfinals against Barcelona and our captain was Ashley Young. I mean, it just sounds embarrassing, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And how he was given 1 year is beyond me. You know what, man? It comes again down to the board level. They need to realise what we've got. How many years have we got? 33, Ashley Young. Has he got any better since he was about 29, 30? No. You got Phil Jones, who's never ever shown his potential. Chris Smalling, he's shown a few games, but still inconsistent and still not Man United quality. You know what I mean? We've got these kind of players. Ashley Young, man, again, what is he doing? giving the ball to Messi.
That mistake was just
What
horrible,
are you
man.
doing? What are you doing?
Man,
He
Chet,
tried the Cruyff turn.
that was just horrible,
That's
man.
embarrassing on his name, man. Cruyff.
Cruyff turn. It was a Cruyff turn there.
I mean, first of all, he shouldn't be playing as a left back anyway,
Exactly.
because he's not left-footed. I mean, I would have been upset if Rojo would have played there, but at least he's a natural left-footed player. Do you know what I mean? So I would have preferred if Rojo played there instead of Ashley Young, man. Like you said, that turn, man.
What are you doing, man? Johan Graves turning his grave right now, man. You know what I mean? He's like saying to us, oh, but what have you done there, man? Ashley Young doing the Cruyff turn. And then he goes and says to, you see after the game when the camera pans, he's going like that to everyone. Come on, get your heads in the game. What are you doing there then? Where's your head in the game there, man? You know what I mean? It's an absolute joke, man. This guy needs to be gone this summer. And when he goes there, he needs to go to China. So we'd have to see his bad performances in England. Because I don't want to see a match today where he's doing a Cruyff turn in the middle of the pitch. I want him gone and gone to China. Do all your respects, and you've been a good servant to the club, yeah. But when the time's right, you need to go, man, and you need to go now. Gambia Banlahor went, now you join your mate.
I'm looking at other players now. People like Pogba, Martial, Rashford, Lingard. Some people say that they're part of the solution. Some people say they're part of the problem. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that any of those players are part of the problem? Some of the players are part of the solution, or do you think it's 50-50?
I think we can't be so hypocritical. Some of our fan base are a little bit hypocritical. So I would say Lingard and Pogba, they should be delivering. I think Martial and Rashford, I think they're still young, they're still finding their game. And I genuinely think that the other guy, you know what I mean, the other guy destroyed their growth in terms of where they should be now. If we had a very attacking-minded manager who was working with them on attacking play, they would be up to speed, I think, and he would have done the work that within that 2.5 seasons the other guy was there. So I think that their growth was stunted by the other guy. So, but I do think Lingard and Pogba should be doing better. But then also what we have to realise is that Man United have had players. Don't get it twisted. All these revisionist historians all over Twitter and all over Instagram. Big players at Man United have lost form, used to lose form. But what we had in those days was that if the players were not on form, if the quality players in our team weren't on form, we would bring in like for like almost, and who were on form and who were jumping at to bits to get the chance to replace them.
To challenge them.
Yeah, and to challenge them.
Yeah.
But we don't have that. We don't have that. So we're relying on Rashford and Martial and Lingard and Pogba. But in the past, and even now, players lose form. Liverpool, Bobby Firmino lost form. A lot of Liverpool fans are going, oh, he should be dropped, he should be dropped, we should play Sturridge, we should play something, we should play somebody else, we should play Origi, we should play... He's stuck with him and now he's found form again. So there are certain players you have to play into form. Like David De Gea, we know he's not on form. We understand that he's making mistakes this season. He's you know what I mean? He's kicking, he's not all that.
But we know what he's capable of.
Yeah, we know what he's capable of. Yeah. So you have to stick with him. So, and I think there's criticize them for the performance, but to condemn them for life, that's a bit harsh and that's a bit out of order for United fans. See, we criticise them game by game on how they perform, but just to say, oh, they're this and that. Of course, Manchester United would not just have Lingard, Pogba, Rashford, Martial. We would have two or three attacking players on the bench who can do good as them when they're on not fun, who can come and take the opportunity, and we don't have them. So to me, they're not part of the problem. Our defence and midfield is the big problem. We know the areas in our team, in our first team squad. With the right wing is a problem, the centre midfield position is a problem, right back is a problem, left back for competition for sure, because we just in this game we showed it. We haven't got anybody who can. If Luke Shaw gets injured next season, we haven't got anybody who can cover. Nobody who's left-footed and who can hold down that position. Well, Luke Shaw's out for 2 months. So there are areas and we need two centre. People are saying one centre half. We've been getting gassed.
We need two.
I think we need two centre halves. Jones should be gone. Smalling should be fourth choice centre half.
And do you know what? At this point,
you know what?
I've been against it, and I hold my hands up. I've been against it, but I think at this point I'll go for Alderweireld.
You know what, man?
I'll go for him. 20. If his buyout clause is really 25 million, I'll go for him.
Use it for 3 seasons
because he's Premier League proven. Yeah. Exactly. Use him for 2 seasons, then go for a big name. Do you know what I'm saying?
But the problem is, you got you got people saying Pogba's not the problem, but Pogba, if you get the right team around Pogba, he will shine. But the problem is, we're swapping and changing every week. We're playing McTominay 1 week, we're playing Fred 1 week. What happened to the free midfield that he played week in, week out? Other teams have it. You got Gundogan there, man. Gundogan is what we think Matic is right now, but he can play. So you got people like that, yeah, and then you. And the front three from me, yeah, is a massive problem. Defence here will always sort itself out. And we've not been leaking goals, have we? But for me, attack wins you goals and wins you games. For me, the attack is the one that's key for me. Yeah. Lingard out wide is an absolute travesty for me.
Why do you think, speaking of our front three, why do you think players like Lingard, Rashford and Martial have not been so prolific like they've been when Oli first came in? What do you think the problem is?
When Oli first came, though, it's not a hype, yeah, but the feeling was good. So the players will generally feel good and they will play better. But when it settles down and the dust settles down, and when the Ollie's on the wheel, when it settles down, you'll see the real players and you'll see the real mentality. The mentality of the players is not up to scratch. For me, yeah, you got Jesse Lingard out wide, yeah, but does he ever stick out wide? He isn't going in the position, yeah. Yesterday, that position on the right hand side, I felt sorry for Lindelof because Jesse Lingard, Tuesday, sorry. I felt sorry for Lingard, Lindelof, because Lingard wanted to go inside too much to the point where he was losing his space. And then you got Martial again, man. I don't know if he cares anymore. When he doesn't care, yeah, does he have a good game? Yes or no? He doesn't have a good game. And Rashford, you can never fault this guy, man. He's from Windsor, like I said, man. Local lad, yeah. He's living a dream, man. He's playing up front because Lukaku's not good enough. So what is that Rashford's fault then? But the problem is, the board have got it wrong, man. Man United don't have a number 9. It's an absolute crazy, man. Absolute crazy. Barcelona on Tuesday night, yeah, they had Thingy on the bench, Dembele. They had a certain man that won't even get to the first team, man. Yeah. And Suarez is having a laugh, man. But the problem is not the players we got now, but it's the recruitment level. And the players we need to add 5 players, bro. 5 players in key areas, bro. And then you can have Martial as a squad player. Yeah. You can have Lingard as a squad player. Rashford to come on off the bench. Why not, man? It's a game team. What happened to the game team? It's all a squad team, man. Why do you sulk here if you're not on the first team? Why do you sulk? You come on there, you show something, and then if you show something, you can be the next person to be on the first 11. Yeah. And you show the manager why I should be first 11. Yeah. What happened to squad team? Now we just got a first 11 and that's it. Nah, man, it's all about a squad game, and let's go for it, man.
I think I agree to some extent with what you guys said, but part of the problem, I wouldn't say Lingard is part of the problem, but I would say this. After the game against West Ham, was it West Ham? I think it was West Ham. Yeah. I said it on the fan cams, I said, Jesse Lingard, man, we can't be talking about your potential forever, man. You're 27 this year. You should be hitting your peak, or you should have hit it already.
Last season, it did. Last season.
And I honestly think that he might not be able to hit that peak again. He might not be able to be that Jesse Lingard again that we all know. And when it comes to Martial, my opinions are a bit divided because I absolutely love the guy, and there's no doubt about Martial having enormous amount of talent. So I think, first of all, we're playing him in the wrong position. He's a striker. He's the number 9 because when we bought him from Monaco, we bought him when he was a striker at Monaco, banging in goals. And I'm sure that Louis van Gaal bought him because of his striking abilities, because of his abilities as a number 9. So while we're consistently playing him as a left winger, I don't know.
So first of all, obviously, you got these inverted wingers nowadays. So in modern football, really nobody would you say Mane is a winger? He's not a winger. Would you say Salah is a winger? I don't know.
I'd say he's a winger, yeah.
Yes, Salah, winger, maybe traditional winger. But we got a lot of teams who play with these inverted wingers. He's just a left-hand side forward. He likes to be on that left-hand side channel as a forward player. But I think once you get a team that's settled, and then they can interchange and move about, so you don't have to have one position. So the days where one guy is the most central striker, it isn't, because you've got like Salah on that scoring. You got Sané and Mane scoring ridiculous, like 17, 18 goals. One thing I would say, last season Jesse Lingard was brilliant, and I cannot say that he scored 16, 17 goals in all competitions. So he was brilliant. I think players are allowed to lose form, and like I said, I love these players. And we actually, like I said, Lingard. I've known Lingard. I know. I mean, if you're from around Manchester, you've seen him. You know who they are, where they're from, and you know what kind of people they are. So, in a sense that, to me, it will hurt more than him to get knocked out. And he actually was one of the first to come out to the cameras after the game, to fair play, to come out and to fess up and say that we're not good enough, you know what I mean, and say that Barcelona were just too good. But the idea that we're getting obsessed about picking on, and I think that Man United fans and this social media, especially a lot of the younger fans, this social media hype, there were a lot of great players at Man United who were lost form horrendously. And people weren't getting in the back of them because other players were coming in. It's just that, to me, like I said, it's a squad game. I agree with him on that. It's a squad game. So if you're not pulling trees or if you're not playing, performing, you deserve to get dropped. You deserve to be benched.
Yeah.
But we don't have the quality to bring on the way that Ollie wants to play. We don't have the same quality to bring on as in the past teams we used to for Man United. So I think some of the fans are a bit too overboard. We can say some of the Man United players, especially our forward four, early on. And the thing you have to understand as well, a lot of it could be burnout as well, because Ollie's got different method, different training, and that's why I'm waiting. I'm not going to give up on these players yet. If this time next season we're talking about the same thing, or we're discussing, or we're all seeing what we're seeing now, then
there's a problem.
But then there is a big problem. I think it's just that there's a team, and Ollie, we might have peaked a bit too early. And what is worse now is that at the most crucial part of the season, because nothing gets handed out or nothing gets settled till May. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we have to wait. But the thing that I keep coming back to, I'm the old man of this channel, right? And I keep coming back to it. We're going to be here season after season if there's no structure. Ollie will probably walk after a season and a half if this crap continues, right? I don't want to swear, obviously. A lot of kids and a lot of young people watch this. But you know what I'm talking about. If we don't get a footballing director, if we don't get a good scouting system, if we are all just about brand, we're not a football club. We need to get back to being a football club. That clown, Ed Woodward, needs to get headed out. Right? He should be ashamed himself. The reason why the likes of Ashley Young, the Jones, Smalling, Smaldini, whatever they call him these days, the reason why they're all getting 4-year, 5-year contracts, 3-year contracts, is because we have bankers making footballing decisions. We don't have footballing people making decisions. Get Paul Mitchell in now. Get him in now. Obviously we can't because he's contracted to FC Leipzig, but we should be working towards him, paying the compensation that we need to pay FC Leipzig to get him in, to get those players that we need. We don't need Galacticos at Man United. What did show you last night at Tottenham? Tottenham have 0 Galacticos. What did Pochettino spend? 0. Most people, Everton, the likes of Everton, Crystal Palace spent more money than Pochettino. Look where his team is. They're in the quarter-final, the semi-final. Sorry, the semi-final of the Champions League with that type of players. I know they had all the luck and whatever. Look, what about last night's game? But you don't need to spend money. And the United fans as well, bear this in mind. Tottenham, Liverpool, City, the big clubs in Europe are almost 2 seasons ahead of us in terms of their team cohesion, in terms of cohesion and the style of play. So what we need to bring back to Man United is the vision, it's the strategy, and we need to get a footballing director that's not going to be a yes man, right? Because I feel as though, why would Ollie, even though he's advising Ed, why would he say yes to Jones and Ashley Young and these guys getting extra years in their contract? Why would he say that? So that's the biggest fear I've had. And from the outside, it looks like the fear that most of us had is there for a reason. That Ollie might be a yes man. But we need a footballing director who's not a yes man, who's going to come in and do a job and go and find the gems that are out there, that exist, players who are on the up, that can get into this Man United first 11. I don't mean get players for the squad. 5 players that can go into our team.
And I was going to touch on the whole scouting system thing. Last time we talked about the guy from who just left Arsenal, Sven Mislintat, but the news just broke in Germany that he's going to sign with Stuttgart.
And yes, again, what happened?
And Stuttgart, and this is the thing, Stuttgart are in the relegation battle. They might be going down to second German division. So how does a potentially second division German club get to sign Sven Mislintat? Exactly. How did they do that?
What's his nickname? The Diamond.
The Diamond. So, and on top of that, I forgot what I was going to say about Ollie. People are blaming him for the contract extensions of Ashley Young and Phil Jones and Smalling. contract extensions or contract negotiations
They don't
in
happen for a
general,
manager.
they take time. So in my opinion, those contract extensions were the other guys. It was the other guy negotiating it for them. So when Ollie came in, I don't think he had a say about. I don't think he had a say on it to tell Ed, listen, I don't want these guys.
But he headed out Fellaini. Then I'm a bit confused then. But we signed Fellaini and then Fellaini got headed out.
Yeah.
So how?
Maybe because he was the only guy complaining about his game time, because he was complaining about it. But
that would make sense.
yeah.
That would
Yeah.
make
So that, in my opinion, that would make more sense. Random question: should we have gone for Poch?
Oh man, in hindsight, that's a beautiful thing.
Because we've
to say,
seen,
man.
we've
In
all seen the
hindsight,
game.
man.
We've all seen the game yesterday,
Hindsight's a
innit?
beautiful thing, man. You know what I mean? You got to give credit to Pochettino.
None of that flip floppers.
I'm still Ollie in, man.
I'm still Ollie in, by the way. Just to let you
Ollie
guys
in,
know, I'm
man.
just asking the question.
You know what I mean? It's a question we've got to put out there. You know what I mean? For me, I've always wanted Pochettino from the start. This is not me flip flopping, yeah. I've always wanted Pochettino because Ollie was a random. He came in random, didn't he?
Oh yeah, it was very
Mourinho
random.
came in random.
No one expected it.
But you know what I mean? The run of form we're playing and the way the players were playing for the badge, I was like, why not Ollie? I mean, he was playing well. You know what I mean? The excitement was there. The buzz was back in Old Trafford.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just a beautiful thing, man. But Pochettino, man, is a special manager. You got to give credit to him. You know what I mean? The zero investment he's had in that team, man, and he's getting players like Lucas, who's been a fringe player at PSG.
Yeah.
He's getting playing skill of his team. He's got Son to world class level. Let's be real out here. Son is world class.
Amazing player, by the way.
I would love him at Man United Football Club. He's getting the potential out of players like, you know what I mean, like Rose, man. You know what I mean? He's getting the potential, and he's got them playing in a system that works, that you press, that you can. There's no defensive football in there. Every time they're looking to push on every time. So, in hindsight, it's a beautiful thing. Do you want Pochettino? Yes, but I want to stick with Ollie.
Saying that, if that Llorente goal, they would have been out.
But then again, I think it's still a testament to Pochettino to get that far and to still compete with City. Look at City, who got the bench, man. De Bruyne and Sané on the bench.
I've got to agree with him on that one, because
he's got me,
if it wasn't for that, obviously the Llorente goal,
Yeah,
was
man.
a bit dodgy, let's say.
You know what I'm saying?
But credit to Tottenham, man, because those first 10 minutes were amazing.
Listen, that's why we watch football, to be honest with you. I mean, I was working, but I watched an hour of highlights today, and that's why and even though I know in the result and knowing everything, I'm still sweated, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, the game is just twists and turns.
Yeah.
And VAR,
watch that most stuff without watching that.
you know what, VAR is gonna...
Do you think it's destroying the
Listen,
game?
VAR is, mark my words, VAR is going to cause a lot of casualties to come. VAR is going to give people heart attacks. Trust me. Trust me. Because people are going to go and celebrate, and that blood pressure coming down, bro.
Oh, bro, I felt sorry for Sterling, man, when he was celebrating
what?
that goal and
You know
then
what? Obviously
finding out it was offside.
You know what? Obviously, there are rivals, and obviously, we wouldn't want to win any quadruple or whatever, but we've got to focus on ourselves.
Yeah.
Because, to be fair, there's some United fans now celebrating and going, oh, yeah, they're not winning the quadruple, this and that, and celebrating Liverpool. That's what Liverpool and City fans used to do to us. We cannot become them. And that, to me, shows how far we've come as a club, where we're watching other teams' performances. Other than that, we have got the responsibility to protect our records. We've got responsibility to protect our records in terms of the trebles, to protect our league wins, to protect our records that we hold. You know what I mean? We are the greatest of the English football. And we've got to protect that. We've got to be put ourselves in a position. But I'm afraid we're not going to be able to do it in this current structure with the Glazer and Ed Woodward unless something drastically changes.
Yeah.
Talking about Poch to me, of course, let me tell you something, right? 3-4 years ago, I talked about it before on either your channels or on here.
Yeah.
I went to an event with work at Hotel Football. Gary Neville was there. It was a keynote, Gary Neville speaking. And I got to speak to Gary Neville and ask him a couple of questions, and he basically said, and I said, Gary, why don't you and the class of 92 come and take over? And it was giving this example of Bayern Munich, you know what I mean? I was giving an example of the Ajax, where former players go in there and work as part of it because you understand the club. And he said he didn't have the experience. This before he went to Valencia and all that, whatever happened there. But he didn't. He said to me, Pochettino is the guy Manchester United should get. And he then told us that he spent 2 weeks with Poch at Tottenham, and he was just said it's incredible. The methods, what he was doing was incredible, and how much that guy fits Man United. Of course, he spent still. Crystal Palace spent more. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Watford
yeah.
spent more than him.
Fulham spent
You know what I
more than
mean?
him.
Majority, 7 or 8 of his first team squad have been in the World Cup in the later stages, right? Do you know what? Listen, but I ain't flip-flopping. Let me tell you something. I ain't.
Eddie Howe after that 5-0.
Man, you know that. You know what? Soon as I heard that 5-0 result, I was thinking, where is Said?
The red card, though. Red card helped it.
Forget red card. Did you see the scintillating football they were playing?
Man.
Did you see that? Nobody goes to Brighton and plays that. When was the last time Brighton lost 5-0 other than anybody that lost the top 2 or 3? Come on, man. I told you.
It's still not Man United quality, though.
10,000 crowd. And he keeps that. That is a miracle. We talk about miracle workers. That kid, Eddie, is a miracle worker. But anyway, get back to Tottenham. Pochettino's done amazing. There's still time, whatever happens in the near future. If whatever happens at Manchester United, that Poch could be a manager at Manchester United. So I'm not sweating at this one. But one thing I do know, Ole's a fan like us. Pochettino is not a Man United fan.
Yeah.
Ole is a Manchester United fan. If he doesn't have the thing to stand up and to get this team back to where it was, and at the end of the day, we are a romantic club.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the romance is not dead yet. And I am on flip-flop match. And all of those deluded so-called United fan souls who were ringing up radio. There was absolutely some muppets pretending to be the United fans, right? Because I heard a couple of them clips on social media. They're all ringing up the radios, 5 Live, and they're ringing up Talk Sport, pretending to be United fans, saying Ole's out, Ole should be out, and Ole's deluded. If any of you think like that after this, you're deluded.
Yeah.
We should be thanking Ole for getting us into these positions, for giving us that night in Paris, for giving us a chance in the top 4. Poch is a great manager. I can't take anything away from him, but Ole is a United fan, and he's the man for me. But we just need to build a proper structure behind him, because if we don't, Ole can, Poch can come in, Pep can come in, Klopp can come in. We ain't doing nothing. It's about the structure. It's about having a strategy and a vision. We don't have either.
Exactly, man. I definitely agree with you. Now, speaking of Ole, do you think he's ignoring the youth and giving players like Lukaku, Mata, and stuff like that more chances than our youth players? Do you think that he's really ignoring it, or do you think that he's preserving them for next season to include them in the squad? Because we've got some really good youth players, man, that can integrate our squad and actually do a job.
I know, but it's you know what I mean. The issue I got with the youth is it's got a pressure job. Managerial positions are a pressure job, and the Glazers only want one thing. They don't care about the youth. They want one thing. They want top 4, and they want the money in, and they can grab that money, put it in their pocket, and bye bye. You know what I'm saying? But what they've got out there in the youth is probably what we've got on the pitch, really. To be honest, up front, Mason Greenwood, how he's not been given a run of games. For me, if we went in the top 4 right now, Mason Greenwood would be starting every game. But the fact that we're chasing top 4, he's still clinging on to the hope that Lukaku will still somehow find his touch again, which will never happen again, because he's got Timberland boots, hasn't he? You know what I mean? Let's be real out here.
I mean, Mason Greenwood is scoring free kicks for fun. Have you seen that free kick against Newcastle?
Bro, that was absolutely
You know what?
majestic.
Like I said when I posted it onto the WhatsApp group, and I showed you his performance against Liverpool, at Liverpool's, right? When I went
Left
to watch
foot,
him,
right foot.
When I went to watch him, I told you in that video and that highlight, this kid has got pure technique, right? So he definitely needs to be integrated into the team. Sooner the better. But I genuinely think that missing out on top, I'm not obsessed about top 4, and I'm not putting a lot of hopes on it. Because listen,
compete with the big boys, man. You need top 4, man. Come on, man. I know you're trying to say that, but we need top 4 to compete with the players, man. Come on, man.
We're playing at the moment. Do we really deserve it? I just think we don't really deserve it. But to me, if we get in the Europa League, what I said it before. Blessing in disguise could be 2 ways. We don't get any European football at all. That's a slap in the face to the Glazers, because that might be a pleasant design. Then they might have to spend the money. Then might have to put a proper footballing structure to get us to where we want to get to. So it might be short-term pain for the long-term gain. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Yeah. Short-term pain for the long-term gain. And I think even if we do get into the Europa League, I want to see the youngsters given a chance in that.
Oh, definitely.
I want to see next season, if we don't make a top 4, giving the youngsters majority of the games a chance for them to play in the Europa League. And that's what I would see. And having almost like 2 separate teams, one for the Premier League and one for the Europa League. That's what I would want to see. But if you would genuinely ask me, I'd rather finish 8th. No Europa League football. Just concentrate on building this team. Let Ollie doing the work he needs to do week to week, right? Before the FA Cup and the League Cup things start.
Yeah.
Week to week, training the methods, honing these methods. And that's what some of the United fans who are deluded calling for Ollie already, Ollie said, are missing. This is not Ollie's team. This is not Ollie's players. This is not Ollie's way of style of play. We're still waiting to develop that. And also talk about a club that's done it properly. I know this is the United stand and United talk, right? But look at Ajax. Ollie's team from Norway knocked Ajax out in 2015 out of the Europa League. In 4 years, look where they've gone. Have they spent money to go and spend millions? No, they didn't.
They haven't.
You know what they've done? They bought youth prospects, and they've worked diligently.
Yeah.
They worked. They've got proper structure. They've got Overmars. They've got Van der Sar. They've got these guys who know about the club and the structure, who know what to do. And look at this kid. He's 19 years old. He was 17.
Amazing.
Was he captain when we played him in the final?
I don't know if he was he was playing, but I don't know if he was a captain. But
and it shows you. Look at, if you want to know anything about the contrast, look at Ajax which we destroyed and bullied. It was men against boys.
Yeah.
And look at how where they are, and look at where we are.
Some of the football they were playing against Real Madrid and
Brilliant.
Juventus, man. Brilliant, man.
model.
Fearless, having fun at the same time. I mean, that's just amazing.
That is the model we got to get to, United.
Blind, bro.
Blind must be happy, like
That is the
happiest days
model.
of his life right now.
That is the model we got to get to by United Football Club. You know what the most telling thing was when I seen it at the end? You go in the director's book, they had Overmars, Blind, Van der Sar. They had the whole ethos, the DNA of the football club supporting them. And they're all ambassador roles. They've all got roles in the football club. But what do we have, man? We had the Glazers and then maybe Sir Ferguson come to the game, man. This is not what we need to be aspiring to what Ajax did. The way they played Juventus off the park. I don't know if there was
amazing.
there was a move in the game where, I don't know, it's gone viral now, but there was a move where pass, move, pass,
From the goalkeeper, from the keeper. That was incredible.
And
I've
how
seen
we've
it.
not gone for that De Jong, man, before Barcelona have gone, oh man, he would have been absolutely perfect for Man United Football Club. But right now,
because Ed Woodward and Avram Glazer, I've never fucking heard of him. I've swore, apologies to the young ones out there. But that's what I'm saying, that's how much it gets me. Because they don't know, they do not know who Dede Blinton is. They don't have any idea. They're asked about branding. They're asked about the next Adidas deal.
Yeah.
They're asked about sponsoring pot noodles in Korea or China. Yeah. That's what they're asked about. We have guys who are businessmen who are making footballing decisions. If we had a sporting director, we would have known about these players in the last 2 years.
Exactly, man.
We would have known about these guys. So to me, if any United fans in doubt about what's going on and why our club is, it's not a football club anymore, it's a brand club, and we're the laughing stock, right, of European football in terms of elite, right? We are the mediocre, right? We've got iconic history, we are iconic, but we are mediocre currently. And we're the laughing stock, and that lays at the feet of Avram Grant and the other ones, I don't know their names, right? And Ed Grant, because he's not Ed Woodward, it's Ed Grant. He might as well be. They're never going to get rid of him, right? So what we need is pressure. To me, where are the ex-players coming out and saying, get this footballing director, because they're hating as much as us.
Yeah, definitely.
They won't say anything because they're all working for MUTV, so what can they do? You know what I mean? But for me, we'll get there, man. We just need to be time and patience, and Ollie will get there. But like I said, nothing will happen until the board put back him, and then we'll get a recruitment and a director of football, man.
Speaking of time, you just mentioned it. How long until we compete for titles again?
For me, I reckon not next season, the season after.
So in 2 seasons?
In 2 seasons, I'm giving him, because I've seen what we need to get to. Next season will be a transitioning for the players. If it hits running, it hits running. But I'm going to give 2 seasons. And I know this sounds like crazy for me because I always want instant success. But it was alarming.
Well, he's admitting it.
He's learned. It's alarming. It's alarming what I see the level at. European level.
No flip-flopping. Remember that? He said
no
2
flip-flopping.
years.
It's 2 years and we need to get there. But let's hope, man, Ollie can do it, man.
What about you, Norton? How long until we compete for titles again?
You would ask me this at the beginning of the pre-season, and I would give you an answer, because if there's no footballing structures in place, then we're going to be... I'm not going to see it. Like I said to you, you could get Pep now, you could get Klopp, you could get the best managers in the world. You could get 3 managers managing Man United. We're not... Until we sort out the structure, unless we have a clear strategy and vision, and we get the recruitment right, we are going to be here again and again. We're going to be outside the stadium. We're going to be moaning. We're going to be on fan cams. We're going to be doing it all again. Unless that's sorted, then nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
Nothing is going to change. And if we get a footballing director, if we get recruitment right, if we get proper vision and structure and everybody can get behind, then I would see, like I said, in 18 months' time, I will be able to give you my report on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
All right, guys, let's move on to the questions. I think we only have one because all of the questions were kind of similar and we've touched on a lot of things you guys were already asking. So the question is from Hamza 786. Shout out Hamza. Who do you guys think can step up in the team as a leader?
We don't have many. We don't have many, let's be real out here, man. The one I'm looking at, man, is probably Lindelof. Hey?
That kid that came on and everybody...
Delic. For me, yeah, you've got, I don't know, in terms of our club now, I don't see a proper captain. I see people that can potentially be a captain. I'm thinking Lindelof maybe. But then again, if you get a player in that Delic, if he comes in next season, you've got a ready-made captain right there. You need I don't see anyone in the club for me. I'm looking around and I'm scratching. Pogba for me isn't a captain material. I've seen it in his game. For me, the captain has to lead by example on the pitch as well. So you need to get the game by scuff and neck. But in Barcelona, Pogba was missing, man. Let's be real out here, man. Yeah. So to say Pogba's a leader. Hey, lads, I'm not admitting that.
Another thing is, listen, you can criticize, but listen, Pogba is not one of those guys. We need a leader who, even when everything's going against him, that's giving 100%, right? Yeah. And being courageous at all times, right? Yeah. And we don't have that, I'm afraid, at this moment in time. We don't have that. Obviously, society's changed. So the likes of all those United fans so harping on to Roy Keane and that. Yeah. Society's changed, football has changed. There's different kind of leadership, but you look at the team. Do you remember the team that in the Champions League final in 2008? Look at that team. Yeah. Tell me that 11. Every one of those 11 could be a Man United captain. So I could go from Van der Sar, from Wes Brown, from Vidic, Ferdinand, to Evera, Patrice Evera. Yeah. In midfield, we've got Hargreaves, Scholes, Carrick, Ronaldo, Tevez, Rooney. Any of those guys could have been Man United.
He's got a point. He's got a point,
so
man.
I'm just trying to say to you, that is the team in the sense of what captains. I'm not asked about one guy shouting it all. I want a team full of leaders. I want a team that it can fight. But that can be built in within the training, within the structure, because then you identify the type of players who've got leadership qualities from other clubs. Yeah. And you can only do that when you get the recruitment right, when you've got a footballing director, when you've got proper scouting system. Then you can build. Because look, Vidic, who the hell knew about Vidic? Look how much of a leader he was at Man United, mate.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? We got him from nowhere. Boom. Yeah. You know, 5 months spell where he was a bit dizzy, 4 months spell. But after that, leadership qualities come through. Yeah. Sometimes you have to build an environment to create the leaders. And at this moment in time, we're a team brand. We're all about Instagram and Twitter, right? Followers. And that doesn't build an environment to have a leader, real leaders at Man United. But I believe Ole, if he's given the structure, if he's given the backing, would be able to create that environment so that natural leaders can come from that.
I think that's about it now. We just want to touch on something quickly. We didn't want to lead with it, so we're going to talk about it now. Obviously, there are some players that, will always have bad performances and shocking performances, but the amount of abuse, racial abuse that Ashley Young's been getting is absolutely disgusting.
By so-called Man United fans.
And we just want to touch on that quickly. Yeah, say what you have to say, Noodle.
Let me tell you something. When you use the N-word or when you dehumanize because of the color of the skin, this is something we are black people, right? We can't help this. So when you're calling somebody something due to their skin color and you're being racist, you dehumanize all of black people, right? That's what you're doing. So the idea that we can call this, how many words are the English language? Anything to talk about his performance, you can use whatever language you can do. You can say, we've criticized him. We can clearly see he's not good enough for Man United. At the end of the day, it's the management team, it's the football club that's putting him on the pitch. So if you want to have a go at somebody, have a go at the people who are putting him on the pitch. But do not racially abuse people, and don't think, because if you think you're hard enough and you're these keyboard warriors, I want you to go in Britain. You know, in Britain, right, there are areas where there's a lot of black people in inner cities, in whether Manchester, Birmingham, London, Liverpool. Go to those areas, and I want you to go and use the N-word about Ashley Young when black people are there, especially when black guys are there. I want to see how brave you are, because you're not brave enough, are you? But you just keep cowards who are keyboard warriors, using dehumanizing language about a human being.
Real talk, man. No, I mean, there's no place for that in football, man. I thought the times were over when music, but it's getting more common and common, man. It's an absolute disgrace, man, especially from your own team, man, Man United fans, man. But these guys need to be kicked out, man. Twitter needs to do some action about it, you know what I mean?
And I think Manchester United has put out an official statement and said they will
100%.
identify the people that said that. Yeah.
It's a ban them for life if they come to Old Trafford and they've got a season ticket or whatnot.
Yeah.
But there's no place for that in football, man. It's an absolute disgrace. You can call it whatever name under the sun, you know what I mean, in terms of footballing level and footballing talk, man. But to call it to racially, you know what I mean, say what they got to say there, it's an absolute disgrace, man. You know what I mean? It's an absolute disgrace. There's no place for football, and I will end it there, man.
Let's finish on a positive note. We've got Everton coming up on Sunday.
1:30.
Away game, 1:30. It's going to be a tough game, man. Even though Everton lost their previous game against Fulham, it's going to be a tough game, isn't it?
So this game, I'm on character watch. I am on character watch. We just talked about leadership, yeah?
Yeah.
This game, I'm on character watch.
Because we're going to have to
Where
bounce
are
back.
the characters? Because Everton are waiting for us. They've had a week's rest.
Yeah.
They had a disappointing result against Fulham. They were on a good run, and they're waiting and they're planned and they're waiting for us, right? And we know it's like a kind of a derby, because that's 45 minutes by car that separates
not
Manchester
far.
from Liverpool.
Yeah.
So it's a local game, you know what I mean? It's a local derby, right? So for me, I'm on character watch. After the disappointment, getting slapped, and you know what, my instant thing, what I wrote, I don't want to go back to that, but what the thing I wrote on my Facebook instantly after I come out of the gig when I found out the final result was that we are the new Arsenal. So I want to see, I made the charge against the players. Are you the new Arsenal, Man United players? Or are you going to show character, right? And in a game that we need to win, that we need to get 3 points, are you going to show character?
Exactly, man. What do you think of the game, man? Everton on Sunday.
We need to win, man. Absolutely paramount. We need to win. 3 points. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
We win 1-0, 2-1, 3 points, and that's a key game. If they lose that, top 4 gone. Pack your bags. Get ready for the beaches, man, because that's going to be tough next season. But 3 points, and that's it, man.
Definitely agree with both of you, man. 3 points. I think we need to get the 3 points. I'm someone, you guys know me, man. I care about performances, innit? I really do. And I want to see beautiful football and stuff like that. But right now, bro, we just need the 3 points. I'm going to be completely honest. And if we can get 3 points, man, that'll be one step closer into staying into that top 4.
But the reason why we care about performances, me and you maybe might care about the performances more than most, is because performances build confidence.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
you can then go on a run
Exactly.
of consecutive games because
Definitely.
you're feeling confident.
Yeah.
That's why just nicking games and bulldozing your way through and almost cheat. Like the last 2 league games at home, we didn't deserve to win those games, and that hurts, man. We might have won them, but that hurts because it shows you our team's not really that good.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining me. Norden.
Brother, always that guy. Keep the faith, United fans. Stop flip-flopping. Now that Poch is through to the semi-final, do not flip-flop. Give Ollie the two and a half years that he needs to get this right. But more importantly, we need a structure. What are you going to do about it? Get the green and gold scarves out at Old Trafford. Let's go.
Saeed, thank you for joining me once more.
Been a pleasure, man. At realist_187, United Central, you know where to find me. And let's wrap this up before the security comes now.
Exactly, man. Follow him on the socials. What about you? What about your socials? Where can we find you?
You can find me on their channels.
You know what?
That's what he
By
always
the way,
says.
shout out to the women's football team, man. Respect
big up,
team.
yo. Listen, it's not all doom and gloom about Man United. You got to give up. At the first time of asking, Man United women's team, boom, record breakers for coming up straight up, mate. Everybody was moaning, saying, "Oh, why are they giving by to the first division?" Listen, they come up straight away. That's why slap Villa 5-0. Tottenham were our greatest rivals in that league. We slapped them 5. Slapped them for 5 as well. They're coming up, and we can't wait to go and watch them. But they need a stadium. They need a stadium where all of the youth team can play. The youth team can play there, and also the women's team can play there. We need that infrastructure sorting out around Old Trafford ASAP, bro.
Definitely, man. I agree with you. Congratulations to the women's team. Obviously, my socials, Mr. Aaron UTD, MRAARON UTD on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Guys, it's been emotional. Thank you very much.
It's been emotional. But hey, come on now. We'll live to fight another day. Keep your head up, guys. Come on. Keep your head up.
Exactly, man. Thank you very much for joining us. Thanks for watching. Smash the like button if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel as well. It's road to 500k, man. Share the video as well. And obviously, some other news. You can still cop that United Stand merch at kitlocker.com/United Stand. Go cop whatever you want, man.
We need to get some of that merch, you know. That Adidas sponsored.
And it's quality, man. I can tell you that. So make sure you cop the away shirt, the home shirt, all the other merch as well. Check out the vlog, the Flex and Josh vlog, where they are in Barcelona. So make sure you check that out as well. And we'll see you next week, same time, same place.
Peace.
Peace out, guys.